Hello, my clever Cancers. It's Cosima from Cosima Tarot, and I've done your tea leaf reading today. I didn't recognize anything out of the ordinary when preparing the tea, so I went ahead, enjoyed it, and thought of you all, and was thinking good thoughts so as to get the best reading. And I recognized three symbols for you. So let's jump right in. So the first symbol I recognized is this shape here. And to me, this looked like a bent finger. You know when you bend your finger at the knuckle and as if like come here or something like that. So here we have the tip of the finger, and then here it is bent at the knuckle, and then the finger continues. Okay, it is quite a large finger. So I think there is quite a big amount of significance to this symbol. So the large bent finger can mean that it's perhaps a warning. It could be about someone else, or it could be your own conscience as a signal. It could also be a symbol of redirection. So redirection in your life. It may imply a change in direction, perhaps in a shift in your path, in your plans, or your beliefs. So something has changed. It could also be a symbol of authority or a person who's in control. However, because the finger is bent, it could imply that someone influencing you, even though they have some element of control, their influence is skewed and not straightforward. As I always say, it will play out differently for each of you in regards to your own lives and what's going on. But the basic meanings, as I said, was either there was some change in your life, like a redirection, a shift in your life's path, or your plans, or your beliefs about life. There's been some significant, drastic change, or it could be something about control, whether someone else has some authority. However, it may be skewed, so it's not straightforward. Now, the last meaning of a finger that is pointing to oneself, or bent in the sense, because it's not pointing straight ahead as we do when, if you're pointing at someone, you're talking about that person. If we bend our own finger, it's pointing back at us. So the last meaning that it could be is of self-reflection. You may have to look inwards, Cancer, and point your finger at yourself, so to speak. But especially if you have been externalizing some blame about a situation, it may just be encouraging you to do a bit of reflecting about a situation or something that may have happened, and kind of ask yourself, what role did I play in? Because it can't just be, everyone else. Maybe, there may have been a role that you played in how things turned out as well. So it's just kind of encouraging you to be a little bit reflective about that. So that was the first symbol that I recognized. Now the next one is of this little guy here, which I see to be a snail. There are a few obstacles here. It's almost like he's trying to, it's like, the story about the fox and the tortoise and the hare. Not the fox, the tortoise and the hare, and there's the race, right? And everyone thinks the turtle is going to lose because he's so slow, and the hare is so quick, but the hare gets distracted, and in the end the tortoise wins the race. This kind of reminds me of that story, because here's a little bit of an obstacle, here's an obstacle, there's even one up ahead. However, if you can see that the snail has this clear path and is just going to go ahead and keep on going regardless of what pops in its way. And I believe, Cancer, that this is you. There may have been some obstacles here and there, even if they are in the present situation. This to me speaks that you are on the path to, figuring things out, resolving your issues, and you will keep going. Even if it is at a snail's pace, you will keep going. So I hope that you see the symbol with me. Here's one of his little antennas. And then here's, the face of the snail and his little shell here. And how the slugs have those slimy little bottom type, underneath underbelly. I'm not a marine biologist or whoever specializes in these little creatures, but that's what I recognize. So anyways, The snail, in terms of symbolism, it does signify slow progress, patience, self-protection, or a tendency to withdraw. But because it is near some obstacles, as I mentioned, these could be symbolic of little challenges, delays, or complications. However, the snail appearing in your tea leaf reading means to continue being persistent and patient, and you will find your way, Cancer. So, as I mentioned, I have no doubts in you at all. And the last and third and last final image was here, this mountaintop. Here's the mountaintop, and there's the down slope of the mountain. It's quite a large image. You don't see the full mountain, because this is almost like the past, right? This is the most recent past here. And we see the peak, and then we see the down slope, and then here you are. There's the snail. So to me, this large mountain downslope, this area symbolizes major life goals, challenges, and ambitions that you have overcome. And the fact that you are in front of it at the down end slope already, it means you've overcome the hardest part. And all putting everything together, I would say the snail and the mountain, it points to relief after a long effort, a time of rest and reflection. So Cancer, I believe that with all three symbols combined, it means that you're in a phase of transitioning, a phase of healing, and of harvesting. You may have someone in your life who has some element of authority, whether it's complete and final authority is a little bit of a question mark, because the finger is bent. So they may think that they're in control of everything. However, they probably are not, because no one can control you, Cancer. You are your own person, and you march to the beat of your own drum, okay? So there's that element. It could just be a little bit of a signal to do some reflecting, what went well, what didn't go so well, what can I change to make sure things in the future are better, go more smoothly. But it does show me that there has been a huge obstacle, a huge undertaking that you have completed, a major goal that you have accomplished. And here you are at the base of the mountain, the downslope, and you are now on this level path. It is no longer the mountain. It is level ground. You still may have a few obstacles here and there, but you're working your way through it. As I mentioned, the snail is a representation of progress. Even if it is slow, it is progress, patience, and it encourages you to be persistent, patient, and persevere. So, Cancer, I have no doubt that you will find your way. I hope that you enjoyed the reading. I really love to read comments, so please comment, like, and subscribe to my channel, so when I have readings for you, you guys know right away. And I hope that you liked the video, and I will see you on the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.